Hello everybody. Today I've got to be in my ASMR voice because there's a Morgan Spiced in the other room that really wants to sleep. So, what'll you be having today? What is the cosmology of your world? What about other planes? Talum is a place shrouded in the mysteries of its sky. You see, rather than going with the general idea that many people have of cosmology is knowable, as is knowable here from just looking up at the night sky, I decided to make the idea of scholarly pursuits of the people of Talum's place in the universe much more difficult. Talum is almost unilaterally covered in a thick cloud layer that must be pierced continuously in order to see what is needed. Only in few very high altitude areas is it ever to be seen otherwise. What people see beyond those clouds, not many really talk about. That's partially because it's a mystery to be brought up for the players to question, and also because I haven't actually thought of it that much. I could suppose that there is a sky, that there is some sort of constellations or anything like that. There's also the possibility that it is actually not any of those things. It could be infinite blackness. One thing that I do know, however, is that there is a day and night cycle. At the moment, there is no method of measuring time in hours or minutes. It's only measured in 4 general descriptions of what the ambient light is in the world. Dawn, bright, dusk and black. The night time for us would be the black for them. Dawn, as would be said, is a very slow and gradual process in which you have this very long blue period in which the world can only be seen for only a couple of yards. And talking a bit about the weather of the land, generally speaking, the thick cloud cover causes mist to form. However, it is by no means a cold place. Humidity is quite high, and as a result, it is quite cloying, sometimes quite still. Wind is few and far between, but when it does, it can cause quite a stir. Honestly, if you would ever be to think of it, imagine, if you would, the horrible situation of living in the land of Scotland during a heat wave, or something to that effect. Thick cloud cover with no regard for human decency. Moving on to the cosmology of Talum. As I said, because the sky is kind of unchartable, at least in the vast majority of cases, I haven't put much consideration to it. However, this is not only there's that side of it, but there is also my major reasoning for wanting to make it a bit different. You see, I've come from ASMR D&D land, and when I was there, I was kind of sideswiped by the sudden change of things. Here I was, minding my own business, fighting, killing, getting money and stuff like that, and then suddenly I hit level 11 or so, and now I'm fighting Githyanki and purple worms. Now this happens to be 4th edition of the land, my great lost love, for all of its faults. But it still is the case that I felt that the rise from mundane events to threats of other planes was much too quick, much too bothersome, and actually a bit of whiplash. As a result, I was very interested in creating a circumstance, creating a setting in which it would make sense for there to be this grand, shall we say, effect. The other worlds would have a large effect on the people living there. to do this, I took a bit of a leaf out of yet again the great D&D book, and looked to the idea of parallel lands. This is things such as the Feywild or the Shadowfell. These kind of places that I really liked the idea of them, this idea of something being side by side, but separate, only able to kind of meet where areas of the fabric of reality is very, very thin. I like that idea. I like the idea of things seeping in and out. So, in order to kind of put my own spin on things, I decided that, in fact, what I'll do is I'll make a version of a Shadowfell of sorts. It has no real name, I guess, but it has the side effect of actually being based around sound rather than sight. As a result, I could actually have shown these areas where the party members are actually in both worlds or in one over the other by negating them of their sight and giving them sound as a supplement to it. As a result, they started to see things, they started to experience things that was completely outside of their ability to understand and comprehend. The end result of this, to a certain degree, was actually that it was quite the Cthulhian, Lovecraftian nightmare for them. I still get calls from one of my friends about it, calling me a bastard, but I dispute him on that. Anyway, guys, I'm very glad that I was able to talk to you for these 6.5 minutes, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Ciao.